So if anybody knows what's going on in the male mind, it's the strippers who sat in front of them. It's a two-part brainwashing.
Okay.
It's a two-part brainwashing. And a relationship should feel like your best friend that you also make out and have sex with. Under no condition should a woman suffer. I wrote a book called Fix That Shit because I had to fix myself. Our culture is capitalism, and it says buy happiness. The kisses contain chemicals that are amphetamines, aphrodisiacs, and antidepressants. Don't do those drugs with a stranger. You'll pick a loser when you're looking for a long-term relationship. Minimum 2 kisses a day, minimum 5 seconds each.
Well, hello, Chantal. Oh my goodness. First of all, thank you for being here.
You are so welcome, my love. It is my pleasure, 100%.
Oh, I'm just so excited. Oh, I just want to unpack so much of the work that you do. I'm just fascinated how you have helped so many people. And what I love most is that in the end of the day, you are truly about having people have, just amazing relationships with themselves and the people they love and really thriving. That is awesome, Chantal. I'm like, yeah, that's our girl. That's who we need today. Yeah. So thank you for being here. Seriously, thank you for being here.
You're so welcome, my love.
Yes. Again, before we get started, I'm going to read, I did some research. Every time I have a guest on, I get so excited. And I really want to do a little research on you. And then we're going to break it all down today, right? But I just want to read to the listeners, for those of you that don't know Chantal, and you're going to get to know her today, just a little bit about, you and kind of what you do, and then we can go from there. Is that cool?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, awesome. Let me get my glasses on. Hold on. I already told her, I said I have to wear glasses now, but that's all good. Yeah, you look beautiful with your glasses.
We're matching today, too.
I know, we look like we're synced today. See, we're like besties. I love this. Okay, let me read this right now. Okay, here we go. Okay, what I write? I wrote some things down here we go, Charlene. I am so excited to welcome, oh my goodness, Canada's #1 dating coach, Chantal Heide. She's an award-winning life coach and author of the books like Fix That Shit and No More Assholes. Chantal has created a powerful method that blends science and spirituality, helping people find the right partner, stop the cycles of fights, and truly create lasting love. So I am so excited to really break this down because I know that you also have created a methodology.
Yes.
A methodology and a process that you take people in. And I know that you've written these amazing books. But before we even start there, how did you even actually get into this work? Because it's incredible, the work that you're doing, Chantal.
It's something that came as the result of asking myself, what am I already doing that I love? Okay. And I am very hedonistic, and I got out of survival mode when I was 21. I started stripping, and I told my mom when I was 6 years old, I was going to be a stripper when I grew up. I look at certain events during my teens and I go, that was me practicing. So at 21, I finally got the courage and started doing it. And I worked sober for 20 years because the odd times when I had drinks or something in my system, I didn't like myself working because it disconnected me. Whereas my superpower as a stripper was my ability to dance in such a sensual way and create an art form that I saw people connecting to. And then when I had the conversations with them, I could get deep into who they were, because at the same time that I was stripping, I was studying sociology, psychology, anthropology, biology, evolutionary psychology, behaviorism, and meditation. That was a weird spot in my life when I was a stripper on my little stripper box in front of people going, have you heard about meditation? And the guy's going, I paid you money to get naked and you're talking about this? I could see the wheels turning in his head.
But, you're so funny. That is so good. That's so good. Chantal, I can only imagine. You're like, Charlene, seriously, I'm stripping, but I'm also in a totally different mindset with other things. And I'm really trying here, girlfriend. I'm really trying. And they're looking at you like, no.
Because I'm always everything.
Yes.
So as a stripper, I was still also a sociologist and still also learning the depths of meditation and what it does to you. So of course I had to talk about it to anybody who would listen. So I did that for 20 years. And then I got to 41 and I went, maybe it's time to age out because I'm 41. And so I still look good. I mean, I'm 53. I could still show up today and get hired, but I wanted to exit and start something else. And I asked myself, what am I already doing that I love? And the answer was give advice, because that's what I did in the dressing room with the girls having problems with their boyfriends. And that's what I did on the floor with the males having problems getting a girlfriend or in their current relationship.
Chantal, that's fascinating. That's fascinating, Chantal, because when you think about, like, how, let's break this down. You know how often we'll say we'll talk to a hairdresser, right? A lot of times a hairdresser will literally say, "Oh my goodness, I don't know if I'm a hairdresser or I really understand people and relationships." And not all hairdressers. I'm just talking about the ones that really relate to giving solid advice, because based on them having someone different in their chair all the time and for such a long time, and also that vulnerability, right? So I can totally see this. Wow, I can totally see how this also is in that realm, right? Because you're spending so much time and like time with somebody, and that vulnerability, and so you get to see someone in such a different perspective. That's fascinating.
That word vulnerability is huge because, by my definition, it's telling the truth despite any fears of consequences.
Love that.
And these males were sitting in the strip club with 3, 4, 5 drinks in their system, aka the truth serum. They were telling
Liquid courage, right? Liquid courage.
all the truths were
Yes.
coming out and they had no fear. So everything was coming out. No fear because I'm not the wife, I'm not the girlfriend, I'm not their therapist, I'm not a coworker they're trying to impress, I'm nobody. So if anybody knows what's going on in the male mind, it's the strippers who sat in front of them.
No, that's fascinating. That's fascinating. That's really true. Because when we talk about, the vulnerability and what really people wanted, what were the things, honestly, that you started seeing? Because I've noticed overall, and I want to hear from your perspective when you were stripping for so many years. Okay, what were the vulnerability or the things that started coming up? Because I truly believe, Chantal, and you tell me what you believe. I truly believe that overall, the majority of us, the male and the female, we really are longing for real connection, deep connection.
Yeah.
And there's a mismatch, right? There's always like this, whoosh, whoosh. So what were you hearing? What did you start understanding?
It's not just connection, it's acceptance. And
Love that.
so what they're coming up against in the outside world is, let's say somebody who owns their own business or works in sales and has to go out of town quite a bit. There was very little acceptance for the amount of hours that their work required from them. So they would come to the club and they could be accepted for their limitations. People who perhaps had some disabilities were accepted. You go there and everybody's your friend. And so it was a very comfortable place for people to come and just be open about who they are, because whoever they are, they're usually accepted.
No, that's good. And so they were definitely not only looking for a real connection, but acceptance. And for, okay, that's beautiful. So you're in this era of, like you said, you were stripping, you obviously, that was a career, you're doing it also to pay the bills and stuff like that. But you're also in the other side, really fascinated about, like you said, about humans and psychology and all the depths of that. Okay, during this process that you really started seeing, like, wow, I'm really understanding people and I'm understanding relationships in such a different level. Okay. What was going on with you? Were you in a phase during that time that you were also looking for a committed relationship, or what was happening with you during that phase of your life?
In the 20 years from
Yeah.
21 to 41, there was few moments where I was single.
Okay.
And so it was 5-year relationships, typically. ending with, I mean, they were never relationships I should have gotten into in the first place because I did
Mhm.
not use a no kissing for 3 months dating rule. I didn't quite find out who they were, fell in love with the idea of them, fought and argued with what was wrong about them, and then finally exited. So that was my pattern until I was 32. And that's when I met my second husband. We got to know each other for 2 years. I realized that my first husband in that time was not a good fit for me. He was a good fit in terms of my evolution, but ultimately I outgrew him. And
Okay.
what was missing from our relationship was intimacy. For years, we were sleeping in separate rooms. We had sex once every few months, so literally 6 times a year. We kissed like cousins. I was begging for more. It wasn't happening. After
Yeah.
years of that, I realized I had sacrificed safety for intimacy, but I looked at my current husband, who I've been with now for 20 years. I looked at my current husband and I said, I don't need to sacrifice anything. So in this relationship, I have safety, I have intimacy, I have companionship, I have everything I want from a partner.
No, that's beautiful because when you talk about then relationships and you like you said you've been able to work with so many people and study people on totally different levels, right? And when you talk about relationships, ultimately, what are you finding? Because I know that you just said that you have those things. What are you finding that people are longing for?
Peace. So women are longing for peace, males are longing for service. It's interesting because they haven't caught up yet.
Mhm.
I saw there was a TikTok. This woman was posting a text exchange with this guy that she was talking to on a dating app, and she was talking about him planning things. And he said, "Maybe I'll wife you up so you can do the admin duties."
Oh,
Yes. And so women want peace and they want somebody who's at their level, not somebody they're trying to pull up to their level. While males right now are still looking for somebody who will cater to them.
okay. So in a relationship that both the male and the female are being satisfied, what are you noticing that's working?
There's no tit for tat, there's no scorekeeping, but there's an abundance of energy, generosity, and service, work ethic that happens in the relationship. So, in a healthy relationship, you see your partner working hard, not only to accomplish their goals, but to accomplish the goals you set together. And not just the physical goals like paying bills, buying
Right.
property, but
Right.
also mental and emotional goals. I am committed to the daily affection. I'm committed to ensuring there's peace. I'm committed to watching you, noticing you, seeing if you're off for a while, and wondering if there's something I can do about that. When both people are pouring that into the relationship, nobody's complaining because both of them see the abundance.
Because they're both getting, basically pouring in and they're also getting poured into. So it's kind of both ways.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So let me ask you this then. Um, in general, when we hear people and they have relationships, and I know you talk a lot about also like debunking the myths of, certain things. And I think it's just honestly, it's so true. It's just so much noise that's just repeated over and over again, and it really becomes everyone's truth, and it's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
So because I believe this too, and I know that I'm going to ask you, and I did a little research, but I believe this too. I truly believe with all my heart, relationships, a great relationship, you guys, and this is how I say it. It's like it should be like easy like Sunday morning. That's my jam. You know what I mean? I'm like a great relationship should be easy. I don't think that relationship should be hard. And I know that this is the misconception. And this is where I think it really gets confusing for people. So can you really talk about that, like that misconception and what people think?
I'm going to use some stronger language here and call it brainwashing.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Oh, I
We
like
said
that.
it's a two-part brainwashing.
Okay. Okay.
It's a two-part brainwashing. And a relationship should feel like your best friend that you also make out and have sex with. That's what it needs to be.
Love it.
I can live with my golden girls and have an amazing relationship with my best friends. The distinction between my best friends and my romantic partner is I'm kissing and having sex with this one. The brainwashing that we have been subjected to, part one, kiss a stranger to pick a long-term relationship. Kiss on the first, second, third, fourth date well before 3 months, which is the corporate model of firing people instead of giving them benefits. Don't you dare do that as a woman. You're supposed to pick a loser. Now, here's part two of your
I love
brainwashing.
this. Yes, I love this.
Part two, fighting is normal, arguing is healthy, relationships are hard. That is bull crap, needs to be put in the garbage. Let me do the distinction here.
Okay, do
Fighting,
it.
arguing, disagreements is called a bar fight, not a bar argument, because of the escalation into chaotic behaviors. An argument is a lack of acceptance. You're wrong until you change. I'm going to bring this up until you change because you're wrong until you change. That's an argument. You're trying to change them. A disagreement is, I think this is the best podcast I've ever listened to. Well, I think that's the best podcast I've ever listened to. And both of us go, okay, accepting each other's right to have our own opinions, accepting each other's individuality without turning it into a fight or an argument.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's really how I look at relationships too. I love that we are in alignment with that because I love, no, thank you. And I love how you're breaking this down. Oh, this is so good. Okay. So for the listeners, so we're already talking about how relationships, honestly, you guys, honestly, relationships should feel just like she said. And how I say it too, I always said it's literally being married to your best friend lover. I always had that lover because you're right. It's not, I always have to say there is a difference between, I love how you broke that down, a difference between your girlfriend and a difference between your best friend lover.
Mm-hmm.
Your lover. It's completely a different relationship. It's a different intimacy, 100%, you know, and that type of relationship. And this is the best part. Like for an example, so I have a girlfriend of mine. Okay. And we've known each other, Chantal, since we were 10 years old. That's a long time. And we've been the best of friends. Okay. We never lived with each other, but we've been really close and we've kind of done life together. But, you know, she's always had her lover. I've had my lover, you know, so it was this, but we have been the best of friends. And we both are very opinionated, strong woman. You know, we don't always think alike. We think differently at times and we have different point of views, but we get along effortlessly. I don't fight with her. I don't have to change how she thinks or how she feels. I actually really admire her and I respect her opinion, even though her opinion sometimes is completely the opposite of my opinion. I love it. I love it. I just respect it. Sometimes I don't agree with it, but I just respect her and I love her. And that's how I truly believe it should be also in a romantic relationship.
I agree.
And right, like that's how it should be.
Yeah.
What are you talk about conflict? And I want to, and something just came up, something I wrote down last night. Let me look at this because I want to ask you something because I know we're talking about conflict. And you talked about what do most people get wrong about conflict in a relationship?
I think what they get wrong is this saying that conflict is necessary, conflict is inevitable, conflict is always going to happen. And for me, conflict is I need to change him. I'm not sure about how I feel about him because of how he thinks. I'm conflicted in this relationship. We can, like we were saying, accept each other's differences without being conflicted about it. My husband and I have some major differences.
Okay.
And
Okay.
there's been times where I've had to really sit with it and come to terms with it. And I think sometimes he has more difficulty with our differences than I do. And I have to kind of let him go through his feelings. But at the end of the day, when we go through our thoughts and emotions, what we do is we look at each other as a whole. And I wonder if I have a pen here. Yeah.
Okay.
And I do this with my coaching clients because it will come up in a
Okay.
relationship where
This
it's
is
like,
good. Yeah, I want to see this.
we got these differences
Okay.
and I don't know what to do about these differences. I'm conflicted because I don't know if I should stay. I don't know if I should go. I don't know how I feel about this person once I found all this out. And I go, this is your partner because, listen, I've done the deep dive and I see all the good in what you're seeing, which is why we're working through this, because otherwise I'd be telling you to dump the motherfucker. So, right, this is the conversation where it's to keep them, not let them go. And trust me, I am firm about the letting go. And I'm quick with the letting go too, because I think under no condition should a woman suffer.
I love that.
So
I love that.
here's the thing that they're conflicted about, this dot, right? And I go, can you accept that without feeling conflicted? Can you just have acceptance for it? It's not necessary to be conflicted in a relationship.
Oh, I love that. That's really important. That's really important. And that actually starts within, right? That we have to that's really the work that we have to do here.
Well,
And
you
understand.
need to know yourself, right? Because
Yes.
it's going to happen one of two ways. Either
Yes.
you know yourself and you find somebody that fits around you, or you pick somebody and you try to fit yourself around them.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work for the long term. You have to really know yourself. You have to know
It never worked for me.
yeah.
And the reason why this relationship is so strong, the one that I've been in for 20 years, is
Tell
because he met me in a time of strength. He met me when I had built myself and found my confidence and voice. And he fell in love with that woman. And all I needed to do to keep his love and attention was be that woman.
was be that woman. Well, let me ask you this. So I have this. This is kind of off, off the conversation, but it's right here in the conversation. So I have this lady in my community, and I have a really large community of the most amazing people ever. And this particular lady who I've grown so fond of because I write and I'm a writer too. And she will reflect back on some of the things I've written. And I've noticed often, and I know that it's hard, for us coaches, because we actually have to get them in our space and really ask them the real questions, right? Questions that they're not even asking themselves and start, going from there. Okay. So, but I want to ask you something.
Yes.
She's been in a relationship, and this is kind of what I know a little bit of, and I don't know if you can help me here, but she's been in a relationship with her husband, I think, for a while now. And I know they have two younger kids, so let's say maybe in the 10 age, or maybe another one in the 13 age, something like that. I think those are her ages, okay? And she referenced a lot that she's miserable. And there is, she referenced a lot. I don't know her side. I don't know his side. So I'm just going by what she's referencing. But a lot of the referencing is that we've tried therapy, and it seems like she truly believes it's all the guy. It's all the guy. You know what I mean? It's like you said, if we can change him, or maybe she doesn't agree with him, or maybe he's just not pouring into her. Right. Do you think if somebody is in a relationship like that, and I know you said that you're not for people staying if things are not shifting, but I also believe things can shift. I think sometimes people just need the right coaching.
Yes.
Do you believe if someone is in a relationship like that, what would your advice be for her to, start looking at things a little differently?
So you didn't describe any of the things that were going wrong. So
Yeah.
I can't pick a positioning, right? There's
Good.
no way
That's
for
good.
me.
Yeah, because that's how I've been this too. I'm like right in the middle. I'm like, what exactly is wrong?
Well, so I first of all figure out what exactly is wrong with a 12 character trait quiz.
Oh, I like
So
that.
the 12 character traits are chapter 37 in my dating book for women, No More Assholes, is chapter 11 in my dating book for men,
Okay.
The Perfect Play. And for me to understand if she should stay or go, I have her do the 12 character trait quiz. It
Love
literally
that.
takes a few minutes to do it because it's like, here's a short description. Is it A or is it B? And so we do this. It takes about 5 minutes. And if they're not a 12 out of 12, then what we do is we go. we go, because you're not here to change somebody. You're
Nope.
here to pick the person who's right for you. So trying to roll a boulder up a hill is a waste of time and energy. It's just going to roll back down because he is who he's decided to be. So if we were to do the 12 out of 12 and he is a 12 out of 12, now we have to look at her behaviors. Why isn't this working with a 12 out of 12? You pick somebody who makes the right decisions, but your half isn't computing. So what do you need to be plugging into the relationship to be getting what you want? Because you did pick the right type. And so if you're not getting what you want from the right type, it's because the right type is looking at you holding back. So are you not grateful for the things they do? Because a good man never leaves a feeling of gratitude unrewarded. So
Correct.
if he does things for you and you recognize it, the recognition and the gratitude, recognition, thank you, I see that. Gratitude, here's some reciprocation, right? Because that's what gratitude is. It's more than words, it's a behavior. They want to
Mhm.
know that we see it, but they also want to know that we're there for them as well. It's not just yelling into the void, like there's an echo coming back here when I put some effort in. So I've had this happen where women have come to me and they say, he's emotionally detached.
Ooh, talk about that. That's a good one. Ooh, that's good. Good girlfriend. Yeah, let's
Yeah.
go there. That's a good one. No, because I want women right now that are listening right now, because I love that you said we're not trying to keep you in an abusive relationship or nothing like that. But we also truly believe that if we're in a relationship, one of the things that I truly, this is the work. One of the things I really, really, really believe is that we can't see ourselves. It's so easy to point the fingers at that partner, because that was actually me, Chantal. We're not going to get into that right now. But that was me. I was girlfriend. I was married to my ex-husband. I was actually in love with this guy, and I left him, and I was with him for 23 years because I really, really, really believed it was all him. I did not see Charlene until, life one happened, and I'm remarried now and the whole thing. Okay. But
Yeah.
you cannot, sometimes, ladies, I'm telling you, we are actually married to great men. And
Sometimes.
right, sometimes we're actually married to really great men and we just can't see it because we're not seeing ourselves. So talk about that.
I had to do that.
Okay.
I picked a good man. I wasn't picking the right behaviors. And I wrote a book called Fix That Shit because I had to fix myself. I wasn't
Oh,
that's how we got
guys,
from
get that book, ladies. That's perfect. Oh my goodness. So that book, Fix That Shit, was about.
me taking responsibility for my thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, which healed our relationship because I
Okay.
was vomiting dysfunction.
Okay, so let's talk about that. So if women are in relationships,
Mhm.
and I know that you have this quiz thing that they do. Okay, but let's say they're not taking the quiz right now.
Yeah.
And they literally are in that place, like you said, with that one said this to you, and they can't see, themselves, and they're blaming the guy, but they also are longing for peace in a great relationship.
You need to take the quiz. Listen, if you don't have the book, it's a $5 quiz in the link in my bio. Because again, I don't want to close the gap when you should be running away. So it is important to make sure the person you are attempting to fix this with and make this better is somebody who makes the right decisions.
Okay, so ladies, we're going to leave the quiz. So listen to this, because this is nothing to do with working with her, not working with her. She's actually offering something that is very powerful that she can help you with. Okay. And whatever you do after that, you're on your own. But I love that she has this tool
Yeah.
that, if you are listening right now, because ultimately we're having these conversations and we're going to break down, all of us really deserve, in a beautiful, loving, growing, healthy relationship with your best friend lover. Okay.
Mhm.
That is the goal. That's our goal. That's our goal right here. Okay.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate goal. And so if that's where you're at in your life, but if you are in a relationship right now, and ladies, for my single ladies, we're going to talk about, so we're also going to talk about the signs and the things that you can do prior to getting yourself in a relationship, because that's a great spot to be in too. Okay. So for my ladies,
Mhm.
my mamas that are in the relationships right now, and you're like, I'm not sure. You know what I mean? They're like, Chantel, I'm not sure. Okay.
Yeah.
First, we already know. I'm not even kidding you. It's in the show notes. This is easy. This is easy. Take this quiz. Okay. So now they take the quiz, and let's tell them what's going to happen next.
So you're confused. You're wondering, is this the right relationship? Am I making a mistake by staying? I think a good thing to do would be making a list of the things that you want and the things that he does, because
Oh, I
without
love that.
well, because here's what happens. Our culture, right? Don't forget, our culture is capitalism and it says buy happiness. So if he doesn't take you on a regular date nights and buy
Mm.
you dinners and bring you flowers without being prompted and gets you that perfect gift, if he's not doing those cultural things, the box of chocolates at Valentine's Day, he's a bad partner. And
Oh, that's
we have
good.
our eyes drawn away. It's called misdirection. It's what a magician does so that you don't see the reality that he just did something over here. No, no, no. Pull your eyes over here and look at the magic trick. The magic trick is you need to buy happiness to be in a relationship. But if you have somebody who is looking after you in what I call practical ways. So, baby, I heard your car make a noise. I'm going to check it out. Baby, I checked
Mm.
your odometer. It's time for an oil change. I'm going to make sure that's done. Baby, winter is coming. I'm going to change the tires on your car. Don't worry about it. There's a mental load and there's a monetary aspect that is being gifted to us through those favors, but we go, no flowers, no chocolate. How dare you not be a good man? So we need to open our eyes if we're doing something like that, if we are ignoring what's being done
I
in
love
favor
that.
of fantasies being sold.
I love that. I love that you're saying this because it really is. It's like, you guys, turn off all the TV, all the social media, everything right now. You're done. Because it's really, truly, you guys, honestly, doesn't this make so much sense? It's really getting in the way of us having, that peace and that acceptance and that appreciation for where we're at and what we have. It's so unrealistic what are the shining objects and what we're hearing out there. It's driving me crazy. You guys, honestly, I mean, this podcast was actually built from my heart to bring on guests like Chantal, to bring on all these guests that I'm bringing in, because they're really helping us have real relationships that actually are thriving and then are heartful, and then it makes our heart feel good. That's all it's about. It's about the heart, you guys. Oh my goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Oh, it's getting me hyper right now, Chantal. Okay.
Woo!
Yeah, I love it. Okay, but that is powerful. Talk more to me about that.
I love
Mm,
practical men. I think practical men get
mm,
overlooked so much because
mm.
again, like we're sold Disney fairy tales, right? It's about romance and bubbles and balloons, and he's supposed to kiss you by the fourth day, and if he doesn't, he's not that into you, and it's like bullshit. He
Yes.
kisses you on the fourth date. He's trying to get you in a procreation drive, not a long-term relationship, because he's not showing that he wants to hear you talk. He's showing he wants to occupy your mouth to shut you up and get you in bed.
That's it. That I mean, women need to understand this, and men too. Listen, because we have male listeners. We are actually created differently.
We're chemically different.
I mean, like actually
Look at us on
chemically
the
different.
outside.
I
It's
don't know why we're trying to put men in the box of a woman and woman in the box of a male. And I don't know why we can't celebrate our differences. Like, honestly, I'm a mother, you guys, and I say this all the time, Chantel. I have boys, like grown ass men. I've been raising boys for a long time. I have one girl too. I have one girl, but I literally have four boys. My oldest is 33. I mean, I've been, I kind of understand men now. Okay. And, and then I have a girl and girlfriend. They are so different. They are so different. My boys and my girl, and I love the differences. So let's stop putting them in the same box. Okay. And I love that you're saying that because again, it's debunking a lot of the blah, 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 blah. Okay. So let's talk about then if we're single.
Mhm.
Okay. And
Yeah.
we're single. And I know that so remember what we just said. If you're married, I love it. We're already setting you guys up. Look at what we just did. You're going to be able to take the quiz. Fine. And then if it's all 12, and then even if you don't take the quiz, I love that you said that also you can even start right now, today. Tell them one more time what they can do today.
Make a list of what you wish you were getting. Make a list of what you are getting. Would you trade one for the other? If the answer is no, you're getting something good. Start saying, thank you. I see that. Thank you. I appreciate that. No matter what it is, it doesn't matter what my husband does. Every weekend, right? My husband and I, we have date breakfast on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, I love that.
Without fail, after we leave the restaurant, like we might still be standing there. Before we get home, he hears thank you. Thank you, baby, for taking me out. If you don't take it for granted, there's a desire to do it again. If they feel like you notice it, there's a desire to do it again. So whatever he does, don't say to yourself, of course he does that. It's his job. Say, thank you, baby. I appreciate that. And you will get more because they love the feeling of recognition and gratitude.
That's beautiful. It really is. And actually, ladies, it can be that simple what she just said. It's brilliant. It really is. I'm not even kidding you. It's not it, you know, we all hear, oh, they want to be wanted, all this stuff. No, 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 no. You know what they really want? They want to feel appreciated.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is their core. Oh my God. Like, you know how we talk about, like, for real, men will actually move a mountain for you, mama. Like, they're going to move a mountain. They're going to move that mountain. She's so appreciative of this. That is so beautiful. And I think if you are in a relationship and the alignment is not there, like we're talking about, and you're like, oosh, 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 start there. Like right there. Start there. And I also do believe in going deeper. Okay. Going deeper. So if they start there and they start noticing, oh, okay, Chantal was right. There are a lot of good things. You know what I mean? If they're like, oh, wait a minute, we are 12 and 12. Okay. Well, you know what? Notice I don't really do a lot of the thank you. I don't, okay, I know that should sound like it's common sense, but common sense is not common in this world. And so, you know, and so if they're like, okay, what else? What else you think they should do? If there's really noticing that, oh, I'm not saying thank you. What else?
Yeah. So, intimacy. We tend to call the bedroom intimacy. And life happens, kids happen, bodies age, hormones get out of whack, illness, fatigue. And so the desire, or what do we call it? The libido
Libido.
take a hit. And so we start to feel like there's less intimacy in the relationship because we only call intimacy sex. And then we start to feel like roommates and we start to feel distant. So a piece of homework that I like to give couples is minimum 2 kisses a day, minimum 5 seconds each. For the same reason, I instruct people to use a no kissing for 3 months dating rule when they're looking to select a long-term partner. The kisses contain chemicals that are amphetamines, aphrodisiacs, and antidepressants. Don't do those drugs with a stranger. You'll pick a loser when you're looking for a long-term relationship. So don't fall for the chemical. But when you pick your 12 out of 12 and you are living together, make sure you have daily intimacy for the rest of your life. I like to say 86 years old and pruny and making out twice a day.
And you love her. Honestly, don't you just want to give her a big hug? That's gorgeous. That's beautiful. I love that. And you know what? It's practical. We are not saying, go climb a tree and do that. I mean, sometimes the advice out there blows my mind. I'm like, oh, that is way too much work. We're never going to do that. What you just said, okay, I told you I really wanted you in person. Okay. So I would have been giving you some sugar right now. No, but what you just said is such a practical, sweet, loving, real connection that actually also is based on science. I mean, hello. Yeah. I mean, really, 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 really. That's fabulous. Mm-hmm. So for my married couples, first of all, listen, love is such a gift. Oh my goodness. Honestly, it's a gift. We get to choose each other. I mean, that's pretty awesome. Okay. So for my married couples, We're going to go back there because we're going to start with the single ones. But for the married ones, if we are like, okay, I'm listening, maybe it's not all him, maybe it is me, or maybe they're like, it's not bad. Our relationship's not bad. It's just kind of flat.
Right.
So if it's kind of flat,
Mm-hmm.
that's gorgeous. We can start there.
Yeah.
And if it's kind of flat, what is something else you just said that is really cool too? If it's flat, we can start with that connection. We can start with appreciation. We can start with, is it 2 kisses?
Minimum 2 kisses a day, minimum 5 seconds each.
Okay.
So
You hear that? 2.
minimum 2, minimum 5.
Okay.
And then also do a love language quiz at the same
Oh.
time and exchange your results, because by looking at the 5 love languages and the number beside each one, you get an insight into your partner on how important or unimportant each aspect is. And if you look for where things are disaligned, you might create some understanding. Oh, now I see why you weren't so affectionate. Now I understand that you're not about words of affirmation, but I can definitely fill my bank up with your acts of service and get words of affirmation from exterior sources and fill that love language up and not feel depleted at all, because now I understand better.
I love that. Goodness gracious. She's just a ball of wonderfulness right now. Okay. So this is what I love. Again, we are trying to keep this practical and starting because we're listening to a podcast today that we're really trying to help you guys have information to really create that type of beautiful relationship with your partner. Okay. That's so cool. So thank you for these practical, but simple, but very effective things that you're talking about. Okay. Now, I also know that, part of your work, which is huge because you guys remember I've said this before on this podcast. I really believe this with all my heart. The person that we choose to be our life partner will overall determine our overall happiness. Because if we are not with the right person, right, it's just not going to work. I'm telling you, you can climb the tree, you can do this and that, but you got to have the person that really matches you. And there's no perfect person. That's cool. We're not talking about perfection here. That's just ridiculous. Oh my goodness. But we're talking about, good alignment. Not everyone's, the dot. That's what she said. Okay. So you also created, let me look at my notes real quick. So, because I want to really break this down. Okay. I know you created a system, a methodology. I want you to explain the methodology and why you created it, because I know you took us back when you were, stripping in all those years and you were really understanding people and getting to know people, and you started talking to the women too, being vulnerable. And I know they were like, talking about relationships. So something started clicking for you. And I know that you applied it also in your relationship. So first of all, what's the methodology that you created and why?
Do you mean the one for choosing the right partner? Yes. So the missing.
And what's the other one though? So they can hear it. There's one for choosing the right partner.
So the methodology. So there's a methodology for choosing the right partner, and there's a methodology for having a 0-fight relationship.
Okay, I want both now. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Okay, let's do the choosing the right partner first.
It's a corporate model for choosing the right partner. So minimum 3 months of observation. So the baseline that you stick to is no kissing, no sex, no sleepovers, no exclusivity. You do whatever you want outside of that. If there's a person you come across and you want to see them from sun up till bedtime, sure. But come bedtime, you're going home or he's going home, so that you have the night to reflect over the day. Because what happens when people rush us into relationships is we don't have time to think. It's a constant barrage of their time and attention, not giving us any ability to reflect. Because what happens in a day with somebody is there's going to be a red flag, maybe. And this red flag happens. He says something and we go, something just, but then the next thing is done, the next thing is said, the next activity, and it goes to the back of our head. Now, people who are trying to manipulate us want the red flags to go to the back, and they're constantly barraging us with this, 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 this. So when we send them home, there's no more of this, which means what's at the back of the head can come to the front and be reflected upon. Oh, I noticed that. Let me make sure I keep it noticed so that if he does it again, I go, that was twice. He did it again. That's 3 times. That's a pattern. He has to go.
That's good.
So this observation period, like the corporations do, mean we're not taking what people say at face value. We say, nice job on the resume, nice job on the interview, that first date. But I don't take what people say at face value. I'm going to watch you over time because you said I'm always on time. I'm such a hard worker. I get along with everybody. You're going to love me for your company because aren't we filling a position, Charlene?
Absolutely.
It's a position,
Of
man
course
on
it
my
is.
side. That's a position. And by the way, this is a monogamy car. So it's a two-seater. So I put the wrong person in here. I leave the right person on the curb. So I better fill the position with the right person instead of making a mistake and wasting my own time. So no kissing, no sex, no sleepovers, no exclusivity means the impatient ones will be removed very quickly. The ones who lack impulse control will be removed very quickly. The ones who are trying to manipulate me but are lying about who they are, I'll see through it because their behaviors will show me the truth despite their words.
Mic drop. Because that's exactly how it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly how it is. The reason why she's talking about this and she created this is because this actually works. And I'll tell you why. Because I believe wholeheartedly in this. I do it a little differently, but I believe wholeheartedly in this. Regardless, you guys listen to this. This is actual facts. Okay. Nobody, I don't care who you think you are, or what, how, you can read people, whatever that is just not true. Let me tell you something. People show up however they're going to show up, however they want to show up. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And this is how we get, this exactly what she just said is how we get in situations that we're like, what just happened? Because when you're first meeting someone, it actually takes exactly what she said. It takes time to get to know that person because time's going to tell who they really are. And time's going to show you if their words match their actions. Okay. Because if some man is coming here, like you just said, and he's like saying, I'm this and I'm this. And you're like, okay, buddy, show me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Show me. And I love that you said the important part is the reason why you're doing this is because we're also dealing with our chemicals. Okay. And when you are going out, you're kissing and you're fooling around, what happens is it really helps. Okay, this is actually just like she was basically saying. And I say it a little differently too, but it's telling people how important the slowing down phase is. Your critical thinking, when we are releasing certain hormones, okay, like oxytocin, your critical thinking actually shrinks. It shrinks. This is why we fall in love with the wrong guy, right? We're like, oh, he's amazing. He's not amazing. You don't know who he is. So I love that you figured this out and how this is actually safety.
Mm-hmm.
This is good.
Oh, yeah.
This is when women are saying to you and saying to me, well, Chantal, Charlene, I don't want a jerk anymore. All men are jerks, and I don't know what just happened because he presented, so well, and now I'm with the freaking jerk, but now I'm kind of sleeping with him, and now I'm thinking I'm in love, but you're not in love. This is how you avoid all of that.
You let them talk. Don't occupy their mouths with your kisses because by not occupying their mouth, they have to talk, which means if they're lying about who they are, they will slip up.
They really will. And okay, so let me ask you this. So if a woman's single, and I have a way that I look at it. I want to know how you look at this. But if a woman's single, first of all, if you are single, that means you are not in a committed romantic relationship.
Exactly.
That's it. Okay. You're not in a committed romantic relationship until you decide you want to be in one. So if a man's like, hey, I like you like me, let's be in a committed romantic relationship. And you're like, yes, then you're in a committed. You choose, mama. You get to choose. Ladies, you're the one that's doing the choosing. Okay. No one's forcing you. You don't have to be forced. You actually get to choose who you want to commit to. That's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
That's very powerful.
Can I
And what? Tell me, what were you going to say?
It's just us women are
Yeah.
going to come across males who say, no exclusivity. That's just wrong. You need to respect me and reject other people because I'm showing up and I'm buying dinners. And what I say in this case
Yeah.
is my number one relationship rule is it's not fair to ask for anything you're not willing to do first. You're asking me to respect you, but you clearly don't respect my goal of picking the right person. And I won't be picking the right person if I'm rejecting people without data. If I'm giving exclusivity without data, you're asking me to make an uninformed decision, giving you exclusivity and rejecting other people without knowing who's right and who's wrong. I don't call that respecting my goals, so I don't owe you any respect.
Perfect. And that's exactly how it is. And you ladies, you don't owe anybody anything like that. Like you don't. So don't ever feel because you're spending time with someone and you are really honestly giving it time to get to know who this person is, because it's going to take some time. Honestly, it's going to take time. That's it. You're a single woman. That's being respectful first to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That you have to be respectful to yourself. And I truly believe, now, do you believe then? And I believe this, but I want to know what you believe. And I always tell women, if you're single, get to know different people. Don't put, no, because we're not kissing. We're not sleeping. We're not doing any of that. We're not acting like we're their girlfriend. We're actually enjoying our time. So talk about that too.
If he has a problem with you having autonomy, right? No kissing, no sex, no sleepovers, no exclusivity means I have full autonomy. If they attempt to encroach into your autonomy, oh, did you go on a date recently? Have you talked to some people recently? And he's getting touchy about your
Yes.
methodology. He wants to remove your autonomy because he's insecure and he wants to control you and have you pick him instead of picking the best person, which is a selfish act on his part. If he's demanding of your time, if he tries to encroach at your place, if he's over at your place and you have a drink or two or three and it's 1 o'clock in the morning and you're saying you have to go and he's trying to make excuses to stay, I've had some drinks, I can't go. Take an Uber. My place is far. Uber to a hotel, but you get out of my house. If you have to fight him out of your home, he's not respecting boundaries. These 3 months are your opportunity to see where they're trying to take your freedom away. Is he asking you to have a curfew? Is he asking you to text him regularly because he needs you to treat him like he is your partner before you've decided to make him your partner? Get rid of him. This is your opportunity to ensure your mental health, your emotional well-being, and your physical safety by removing people who try to eliminate your autonomy through their control tactics.
That's beautiful. That's actually what it is. You ladies, you have that power. And if the guy is all trying to like get poo-poo on you, I love what she said. This is what dating is about. You just move on. You're like, no, next. Like, no. There's no, oh, let's work this through or no. He's already showing you. That's the whole point. That's the whole point in her methodology.
And it's so easy to get rid of them when you're not kissing them because it's not a breakup, it's a text message. You don't need to do anything more. And in fact, when women come to me and they say, I've been dating this guy, I've been seeing him for a while, I want to let him go, I don't know how. I go, tell me how you think he would do it. Do you think he would call? Do you think he would text? Do you think he would ghost? And if whatever she says, I go, that's what you do for him. If he's polite enough, I'm just not into it. He's been kind, he's been polite, he's been great. It's a phone call or a kind text message. Hey, I've been doing some thinking, not for me. Good luck on your journeys. But
you know what I say, Chantal? You know what I say too? It can literally be like, I love that you're saying that. It's literally, I always say, thank you so much. We're just not a romantic match.
Yes.
Done. Easy peasy.
So easy. Yeah. And if he was disrespectful, it's because of a lack of communication, if it's because he keeps canceling on you, whatever it is, just ghost. There's no reason to waste your energy.
No, because if he's already showing up like where that's it. You don't owe anybody anything else.
And somebody who's already showing up disrespectfully doesn't respond respectfully to a goodbye text.
There you go. That's perfect. That's perfect. Okay. So you believe then, the mythology, if you're a single lady, how important it is to really get to know these guys before we commit to one of them, right?
Mhm.
And really take your time, and the way that you can actually do that so you're not getting attached, and that's why you feel wholeheartedly, so we don't get that attachment quickly and those chemicals start telling us that he's amazing and amazing and amazing when you're like, but he's really not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is so important. Doesn't that help women?
It saves your life.
It does. Keep their power.
It keeps your mental health, it keeps your physical health because you're not stressing over his dysfunction. It keeps your money because your goals, your ambitions aren't being stolen because you're being distracted by his dysfunction.
I love that. That's very powerful, you guys. That's really powerful. And if you want to learn more about that, and there's more things you could talk about that, get into Chantel's world. Seriously, she has other ways to really, again, we love her so much. She's giving us, overview today. Okay. Okay. I can't have her for 3 hours. Okay. We're giving an overview. We're not doing a full coaching right now. Okay.
We'll do that on your live stream.
There you go. That's it. That's what we'll do. Okay. Now, here's the next one. So, another thing that I find so valuable, and honestly, thank you for today. But another thing that I think is really cool, and I want you to touch on this too, is your methodology that you were talking about when it comes to conflict.
Yeah.
What do you call that?
A zero fight relationship.
Okay. What does that mean?
So fights are escalation into chaotic behaviors. It's when you yell, when you rage, when you throw something across the room, when you slam doors and you slam your hand, right? It's
Yeah.
an escalation to violent behaviors, right?
Yeah.
So, zero tolerance. A woman should never tolerate somebody who doesn't control their own behaviors, not for a second. At the first sign that he has the ability to act like that is when you should end it, because the first time you see it won't be the last time. So he's testing you to see if you'll tolerate that kind of behavior. The answer should be a firm no. You should remove that person who has shown you they have that tendency. Arguing is a lack of acceptance. If you use the no kissing for 3 months dating rule and you choose the person who's a 12 out of 12, makes all the right decisions when it comes to responsibility, taking responsibility for themselves, but also matches you on your energy, your honesty, your loyalty, your work ethic, your responsibility, your goals, timelines, all of these things, how you want to parent, if you want to raise them under a certain religion. Do you want somebody to go to church with you or no? You need to define what you're looking for and choose that person, not choose a person and try to make them fit. So when you use my methodology and you find the person that fits around you, you're not trying to change them. So there's no arguing going on. You're wrong until you change. Until you change, I'll bring this up. No, it's like, I love you. Great. You pull your weight. Wonderful. Every single day. Kisses and hugs. So in terms of having a zero fight relationship, step one is who you choose.
It's who you choose.
Two, Step one is choosing the right person. It has to be somebody who loves you more than dysfunction. And then step two, you must choose functionality. So if I'm insecure, I need to think about who I'm with, not go to my partner and go, I feel insecure, fix me. Here's a false accusation to make you fix me. Instead of being dysfunctional with my insecurity, I go, who did I choose? Did I spend enough time to know who they are? Yes, I did. Who are they? Here are their characteristics that show me. Here's the behaviors that show me. Here's the patterns that showed me that they are loyal. So this insecurity isn't about them. I'm having a trigger. I'm having baggage coming up. So what am I going to do about my baggage? This overabundance of stress, fear, and anxiety is coming from my past, not my present. Meditation. Harvard did a study. They had people come in, do an MRI scan, meditate for 8 weeks, come back for a second MRI scan, looked at the two side by side, saw the amygdala shrink. That's fight or flight. That's stress, fear, and anxiety. When you shrink that part of your brain, you reduce your capacity. Instead of going to him with my stress, fear, and anxiety, I'm going to meditate and reduce my stress, fear, and anxiety, taking responsibility for my own
I love
emotions.
that. I love that.
my thoughts about him. I feel insecure. Who did I choose? Let me write a cheat sheet because I've got amnesia right now. I forgot great things. So let me write a cheat sheet. How does Tony show me he loves me and appreciates me and is devoted to me? Here are all the ways. When I feel insecure again, I'll go back to my cheat sheet to remind myself of what I'm forgetting in that moment.
That's so good. That's really good. And I love that you said, to have that from the start, it needs to be from the start. You have to have that from the start, because I believe that relationships start forming a pattern. So if you're in a gay relationship and you really guys are already screaming at each other in the beginning, that's your pattern, man. That's how you guys, and that's not going to work, and that's going to be unhealthy, and it's going to be toxic, and you're just going to be drained, and you're going to be this and you're that. But if you know from the beginning, and she already gave you the tools how to meet that guy, I mean, that's pretty amazing, right? And I have a question on that too. So I'm having a two-part because my brain is just going. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. I know my audience. I know what they want me to ask you right now. Ooh, I'm just channeling right now. Charlene, calm down. Just go for it. Okay. For this part that you were just talking about, when you realize that not only that this is something that we don't want to tolerate from somebody else, well, guess what, Missy? They don't want to tolerate from you either. So don't teach someone how to treat you that way. And so if you find yourself that you are a person that gets very triggered very quickly, and you allow because all emotion, this is all emotions right now. Okay. We all have emotions, and you allow your emotions to control you, right? To get you to, that place of just complete, that's on you. Mm-hmm. That's on you. You have to, so if you don't want someone to do that, and we should not have anyone taking their emotions and just throwing it all out on us, because they're not controlling their emotions. They're not doing the tools and the things that they can do to regulate that, to calm down, to do whatever they need to do to, come back to a different state. It's the state that they're in.
Yeah.
That's very important, that not only that we're not supposed to be accepting that from your partner, but you can't be like that either.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a story about that?
Yeah. Tell me about that.
So you need to be conscious about who you want in a relationship, and you need to be conscious about who you're being, because again, the number one relationship rule is it's not fair to ask for anything you're not willing to do first.
Love that. I love that. I love that. I love that, Chantal. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
So when my husband and I committed to our relationship, and then we had our first fight, he said, "Why are you being such a fucking bitch?" Oof. And I had been very conscious of never calling him a name.
Okay.
Because I did not want to be in a verbally abusive relationship. I didn't want to be called names.
Got it.
So the first time my husband called me a name, I went, whoa, we don't do that in this relationship. I don't call you names because that's not the relationship I want. If you insist on calling me names, I will leave, because I will not be in a verbally abusive relationship. And after that, all the fights we had, and we did still have many, he did not call me names.
Because she set that boundary. She was like, no, she didn't participate in that, because what could she have done? She could have done the same thing. And this is more typical. And this is why it's not working. And this is why we're not having the healthy relationships, because more typical is that she would have just reacted and be like, well, asshole. And then she's doing exactly what she doesn't want him to do to her. But for her to pause, you guys, this is a skill. We all can learn this skill. Okay. For her to pause. So good. And for her to be like, buddy, I love you, buddy, but we ain't doing this. We ain't doing this. That to me is fabulous, because you're the only one that's going to put that for yourself. Set that boundary. You can't be like, well, he keeps doing it. No, you're letting the guy keep talking to you like that. That's just a big bunch of BS.
Yeah.
No. And you can't do it to him. I love that. You can't be like, don't do that to me, you asshole. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah. And that's what we do. Okay. Very good. So let me ask you this. Something came up that I'm going to bring you back for a second, because something came up. I'm just, when they are in the phase, the single women are in the phase, and they're single, and they also are attracted to the man. Okay. And they're, dating. And a lot of us women, we have honestly grown up, with this misconception that, I always led more with my sexuality. Okay. Me as a woman, before I knew any better. But that's just, I think for the most part, a lot of us women do that. Okay. And if they are single and they are attracted to a guy and they are really used to more leading, with their sexuality. Not saying we can't be flirty. That's all she's saying. We're not telling you to be a nut. No, we're not saying that. But if they are used to being a little more flirty and they find themselves being able to connect with the man, a little more like, a little more physical. They like, for the man to, give them a kiss, or they want to kiss the man, or they feel like that's also a way for him to know that he really is into her. Okay, this is people.
Yeah.
What is your advice for those women that's how they've always kind of done it, and how can they do it differently now and still get that romance?
First of all, no kissing for 3 months. When you use that on somebody who falls off because you saw red flags, or you saw the reality of who they were, and you're just like, oh, that's not on my level, I just don't want it.
Okay.
You'll be happy you used it.
Okay,
When
I
you,
like that.
right? Because you're going to say, good thing I didn't kiss him. It was so easy to get rid of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Good thing I saw that before we started a relationship, and I suffered through what I saw before we committed. And I said, I need to work through this and hope they change, and cry and fight and beg and plead. And, because we're supposed to work on it because we're in a relationship now. And I shouldn't let go of a relationship so quickly, which, ladies, please let them go so quickly, no matter what the title is.
Please let them go. Listen to the number one dating coach in Canada. Let them go. That's dating. Okay, keep going.
But with the person who's rising above the crowd, what happens is that chemistry, maybe the chemistry wasn't there in the beginning. And if you follow my advice, good enough is good enough, because early chemistry is nothing but procreation drive. It has nothing to do with who they are. So good enough is good enough means, were they attractive enough, kind enough, generous enough, interesting enough, funny enough to see again? Did they feel safe enough to see again? Keep going, because maybe it will turn into attraction, because I was not attracted to my husband when I first met him. It took
Really?
months and months and months, but baby girl, 20 years with this man. I look at this balding man from across the room, and I still get the whoosh. He still turns me on because his confidence, his character, personality, the way he kisses and touches me. Oh, chef's kiss.
Chantal, this is fantastic. This is what we're talking about now. This is it. Yes.
An early spark means nothing. Chemistry that builds like a bonfire. How do you start a bonfire? It's tiny twigs and a bit of paper, and one flame starts a bonfire. And then you add bigger and bigger. Here's more knowledge, more insight, more knowledge, more appreciation, more wow, look at this person, admiration, building, building, building. Attraction begins to build because of the appreciation and admiration and the friendship and the safety, that foundation. And I mean, wow, look at you. And I'm looking at the shape of your mouth going, that might be a good kiss one day. Right. And so all this starts to build.
I'm so excited. This is so good. You got, I feel like I'm dating right now, Chantal.
Exactly.
Oh,
I just got tingles just talking about it. So imagine. And you're like, oh, I want to kiss, but I'm not. It's not the date yet. And you stick to the calendar date. Let me tell you, that first kiss with that person, fireworks.
Okay, did she answer the question or not? Like, seriously.
I know. What was the question again? I got so excited.
You did answer it so beautifully. The question was for the women. You just answered it perfectly. For the women are like, Chantal. But I always, like to do a little kissy here and there. That's how he knows I like him. You're like, no, it's not necessarily the right way.
So
ultimately,
let's talk about the ones who want to kiss and find out, because my methodology is find out and kiss the right one.
Okay.
So my methodology is called knowledge and insight. There's 2 ways to start a relationship. There's gaining knowledge and insight, making an informed decision. The other way is a lotto ticket.
Okay.
You pay, you get your ticket. So I commit, I kiss. I kiss you, I commit to you. I'm going to say no to other people because I'm not that kind of girl. I'm not kissing multiple people simultaneously when I'm looking for a long-term relationship. Might be kissing multiple people simultaneously if I'm in hookup mode, but I'm not in hookup mode. I tell people I'm looking for a relationship. So I'm buying a lotto ticket. I'm going to go to the gas station, pay my money, right? Here's the kiss. Here's my investment. Here's my commitment. Here's my rejection of other people. I paid my money. Now I wait, don't I? I got to wait for Lotto Day to find out if it's a winner or loser. So now it's a waiting game. And I'm
Yep.
going to find out after waiting to find out if it's a winner or a loser. Are most Lotto tickets winners or losers, Charlene?
Losers.
Exactly. So why would I gamble my love life when I can just use knowledge and insight and pick the right person without gambling my emotions, gambling my mental health, gambling my physical safety?
You had me, honey. You are spot on, because in the end of the day, this is what we're talking about. We are talking to women out there that are truly looking for their best friend lover to spend life with. This is not hookup. This is not, oh, I'm going to have to go through these frogs to get through. No, 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 no. We're avoiding all of that. And all it takes is honestly giving this time and
Mhm.
putting yourself in a position of, allowing yourself to get to know the person without having to be physical, because that changes everything. I love how you said that. I love how you said that, because I really believe, with chemistry. Okay, you guys, I'm telling you, and you guys know what we're talking about. You can have chemistry with the wrong guy. Hello, holla, holla. How many
Right? How many of
Oh
us
my
have
God, about
high
falling in
chemistry with
love
the
at the first
guy?
time. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I mean, like, seriously? Yeah, you can have chemistry with the wrong person, because really there's a difference between chemistry and the slow, and I really believe the best relationships are the slow burn. It's a slow burn, because it is. You guys, it's the sexiest, because it's like you really oosh oosh oosh. See, now you're getting me hyper too, Chantal. But you really like go. I know, go. What were you gonna say?
So, Charlene, do you remember when you went to someone's party and it was an all-nighter and they had a big backyard and they made a big bonfire and the
Yeah,
bonfire was going all night long, and
yeah, yeah, yeah,
then you
yeah.
guys talked all through the night, and then the sun came up, but you haven't been tending to the bonfire. It's just ashes on top, but all you had to do to start it again was throw a few sticks, because what was underneath the ashes was the
Mm,
heat that you made all night long.
yes.
I'm 20 years with this man and we are still in heat
Oh,
because we did the slow burn.
that's it. I did the slow burn too.
Isn't it amazing?
And again, the slow burn is so sexy, ladies. Really what it comes down to this too. And so, and I'm looking at the time. She's going to kill me, because I literally told her 1 hour, and I'm having her way over that. So I'm so sorry, because this has been amazing. No, Chantel, I.
Can I give can I give one last piece of information?
Oh no, you're going to give as much as you want. What do you? Because I have a couple of more questions. Yes, keep going.
Okay. I want women to know that
Yes.
we make the rules today.
Okay.
Having a relationship does not have to mean cohabitation and or marriage. We can decide for ourselves. I've made my home. I've created a nest. I pay my bills. I love my environment. I don't want somebody living with me, but I do want a relationship. And so women now can say, I want a relationship, but I will never get married. I will never cohabitate. I give you status. I give you exclusivity, but I don't give you the ability to upset my peace.
They can do that. Absolutely. Absolutely, ladies. You have all that right and that power. And that's truly your empowerment.
Mhm.
And if
And
you're a woman and you're like, no, 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 ladies, no, no, no. I want what you guys have. I actually want to be married, and I want to cohabitate and be, staying on the same bed with that man, doing all of it day to day, day to day. That's good too.
mhm,
There's nothing wrong with that too, because that's what I wanted. And we're not, everyone has something different, and that's okay. I love that you're saying that. Everyone is different, and
mhm.
everyone can get what they want. You are not stuck, ladies. They're not stuck, right, Chantel?
Never. And I am married and I do have a prenup.
Okay, listen to her. She's married and she has a prenup, and she actually said that she's been married or she's been with her man for 20 years and she adores him. She's not going anywhere and he's not going anywhere. They've created this amazing thing and she still has a prenup. Think about that. That's really cool, right? That's
Yes.
absolutely cool. So, for all my single ladies, all my successful single ladies who listen to this podcast, and you're like, Charlene, I am so successful, and this and this and this. Well, we are setting you up. We're
Mhm.
literally, the conversation today is setting you up for success. And not only that, when we talked about, the other question, did we not get into that? And maybe I've said this before, but I might have to actually bring you back for a second time. Because did we get into, I can't remember right this second right now. Did we get into the second mythology? The one how to,
So, yes, there was the no kissing for 3 months to pick the right person, and then zero fight relationship is taking accountability for your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors through meditation, making sure you're grounding yourself in reality, like understanding what's happening instead of being lost in your imagination, and giving yourself emotions and just believing what you're feeling without actual logic.
okay, that was, okay, that was the second one. Okay, now, how do we get into your world?
So to come and see me, to come be a part, I am so present. So I love talking to people. It was funny because when I quit stripping, I suddenly realized how much of a social aspect it was, because for a month I was like, I felt so lonely, I felt so alone, because my work was being surrounded by people and I was home alone. Um, so for people to come and find me, I do live stream Monday to Friday for minimum 2 hours. Currently, it's on TikTok at 6 p.m. Eastern time, but I always have a button in the link in my bio in case I change spots or times. So I like to make it easy for people to find me, because people buy my books or they come in, they get advice, and I want people to come back and talk to me, even if it's a year later. Charlene, I had some guy who was
Tell
red
me.
pill. I had somebody who was like very much in the red pill culture, like women are bad kind of thing. And he came and he talked to me about my prompt, which was about body count. And body count doesn't matter, because what always matters more than who you did or didn't do is who you are. And so he came from this culture that is very toxic masculinity, talked to me. A year later, came back and found me because I'm consistent and easy to find, and said, I want to let you know I'm in a much better place mentally and emotionally, and even in my relationship that I have. And you were so right, because the relationship I had then, she had a low body count, but she was dysfunctional. The relationship I'm in now has a high body count, and she's the best friend.
Oh, so your life, that's beautiful. You guys, honestly, get into her world, because again, I know I literally took her for, just a moment of time so she can just, pour all the love to this, community right now, for the Love Stories community, family, honestly. So on your live streams, they have an opportunity, you're live, and you are talking about all these things, right?
Anything they want to talk about, but I have a prompt right now that says body count doesn't matter, because I'm debunking
Okay.
the people that are attempting to spread disinformation about women having consensual sex.
Okay. So, ooh, that's so good. See, that's another question. Don't,
There's so
don't,
much.
I'm like, don't do it, Charlene. Don't do. Okay. 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 And again, thank you.
You're
Is there
welcome.
anything, because I'm going to bring you back, because I really feel that we're going to do the body count thing too, and we're going to like go a little deeper here. Is there anything right now though that you would like to share with the listeners that maybe we didn't touch upon?
I would love it if they took a look into my books. My paperbacks are available on Amazon. You can go to Amazon, type Chantal Heide, ChantalHeide. My bestseller is No More Assholes, my dating book for women. My second bestseller is Come Back Queen, which is a book that helps women repair from a breakup or divorce. Isn't that funny?
Oh,
I'm
that's
getting them
good.
to leave the wrong ones and pick the right one. And then they're fixing their new relationships by unpacking their emotional baggage with Fix That Shit. So I have 12 books. I catch you really at any stage of your evolution. I even help your teens. But there's a free book that you can get in the link in my bio. It's called Fake Love Need Not Apply. And I help you identify posers, losers, scammers, and predators, and teach you how to exit safely if you happen to read a description and go, oh, I got one of those in my life.
Are we going to be best friends? You're amazing. Seriously, you have to come visit me here in Arizona whenever you have an opportunity. I would love to have you here at the studio and just have a deeper conversation. And obviously, I would love to have you back on this podcast. You are just amazing, and I love that you're really helping people. Honestly, I mean, your advice is spot on. It's fabulous, and it changes their lives. It changes their lives, you guys. But you know what it is, though? Again, get into her world, read the books, but you can get all this information, but actually apply something. Like, I'm really serious. Don't just, listen to this amazing conversation and be blown away. Take some time, write some things down, apply some things, look inwards, really start looking inwards and really see yourself and start there. And if you're struggling, work with someone, get a hold of Chantal. This is the work they're doing. This is what we live for. Call me, call Chantal. Just go work with someone, so you can really get a deeper dive if that's where you're at, Because sometimes we just need some information. Sometimes we need to go deeper. Everyone's at a different place.
Mm-hmm.
But either wherever you're at, things can change. I promise you. And we all deserve and we all can have great love. Chantal, you're fabulous.
Thank you, Miss Charlene.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And until next time, cheers to great love. If you're loving this podcast and these incredible conversations, please hit the subscribe button and leave a 5-star review. Don't miss an episode, because each week I'll be bringing on guests and experts who will share their knowledge about love, dating, and relationships so you can apply it into your own life. I'll see you next week. And until then, cheers to great love.